Reporting from Arkham Asylum, this is Gotham Rogues. In this video we take a look at forgotten Batman villain, Santa Klaus. Throughout his near 80-year-old existence, Batman has faced countless enemies. Some of these have gone on to stand among the most infamous fictional villains in pop culture history, while others have completely vanished into obscurity. In this segment of Forgotten Bat Rogues, we spotlight Santa Klaus. Santa Klaus, real name unknown, made his first appearance in Batman 596, published in 2001. The story, titled City on Fire, was written by Brubaker and penciled by Scott McDaniel. It takes place during the Joker's Last Laugh event, when the Clown Prince of Crime thought he was dying, and as such infected all villains in the DC universe with Joker venom, turning them into crazed, Jokerized versions of themselves. It was his way of leaving a mark behind. Anyway, in this story we're introduced to an escaped inmate of Arkham Asylum, whose modus operandi is dressing up in a Santa outfit and attacking people he deems to have been wicked. His identity is unknown, and due to speaking with a German accent, the staff at Arkham has dubbed him Santa Klaus. Like the rest of the Arkhamites, Klaus has been infected with the Joker venom, and now on the run, the crazed Santa is wreaking more havoc than ever before, punishing the naughty. Meanwhile, Batman is dealing with Mr. Zeiss, a hitman working for Lou Moxon, who's in the middle of a gang war with the Russian mob. As such, Batman is unable to go after the Santa. Eventually the two cases converge, however, as Santa Klaus just happens to run into Batman, Zeiss, and the Russian mob in the middle of a standoff out in the open. With so many wicked men in one place, it's like Christmas Eve for Santa Klaus. By the way, Mr. Zeiss is another forgotten Bat Rogue who I'll definitely cover in a future video as well. Santa Klaus returned just 2 issues later, namely in Batman 598, published in December of 2001. The story was again done by Brubaker and McDaniel, and the title of it was Santa Klaus is Coming to Town. In this one, Klaus is off the Joker venom and once again escapes Arkham Asylum, setting out on a quest to punish everyone who's been bad. His scope is more grand now, however, and he needs help. So Klaus recruits 2 kids off the street and dresses them up as elves. With Santa's 2 little helpers, the crazed villain begins to spread Yuletide terror in Gotham, handing out Christmas presents to naughty people, Christmas presents containing bombs. This issue also reveals that Klaus is actually a metahuman. He has the ability to tell if a person's been bad, somehow knowing their past dark secrets. It's a sort of mind-reading thing. After this story, Santa Klaus never appeared ever again, and he's also never showed up in any other media. I was originally not going to make this video. The next forgotten Bat Rogue was supposed to be Dr. Death, but then I suddenly remembered that this guy existed, and I just had to do him for Christmas. I had another Christmas themed video planned, but this is way better. Anyway, so here we have another really obscure rogue. Like the Savage Skull, the Monarch of Menace, and a few others, old Santa here has only been featured in 2 comics. Nobody ever bothered to touch him but his 2 co-creators, Ed Brubaker and Scott McDaniel. I think that's a shame because the guy certainly has potential. I really like the fact that he's motivated by punishing people who's been bad. This agenda of his makes him somewhat sympathetic. He's not killing random people or robbing banks. He's ridding Gotham of the naughty people who's infesting the city. That's a really interesting villain motivation. Of course, he is completely off his rocker, as he gleefully murders all sinners. He doesn't really distinguish between a murderous gangster and someone who's cheated on their taxes. Everyone who's been bad in some way in his eyes is fair game. But this insane psychosis of his just makes him all the more entertaining to read. What also makes him more fun is the heavy German accent. I don't know why exactly he needed to be German. He could just as easily have been American. But the silly accent does add more quirkiness to this already zany character. I would really like this guy to be featured in some Christmas special issue. I don't understand why that hasn't been done yet. Despite there being plenty of Christmas Batman stories, The Dark Knight doesn't have a Christmas-themed villain. Santa Klaus can fill that spot. Like so many other Bat Rogues, Klaus takes something innocent and fun and corrupts it, turning it into something scary. Like how Joker corrupts clowns and comedy, the Mad Hatter corrupts children's storybooks, and the Riddler corrupts riddles and puzzles. He fits in perfectly in the Batman's Rogues gallery. On a final note, I also want to say that I like Klaus not having a real identity or origin story. We don't really know where he's coming from with his Santa shtick. How and why did it start? How exactly does his powers work? These are things better left unanswered, as the mystery adds to the scariness of the character. If they do finally bring him back someday, which I highly doubt, I hope this aspect of the character is kept intact. Just like the Joker doesn't necessarily need an origin, neither does this guy. So there you have it. That's the story of forgotten Batman villain Santa Klaus. On behalf of the inmates of Arkham Asylum, I wish you a Merry Christmas. Join us again in a week for the final video of 2017. It's going to be the end of a long-running series.